So I expected to turn on the TV tonight and sit down and watch Stingaversary 2013 and sit there for 3 hours and be bored out of my mind, twiddling my thumbs, looking at stuff online, maybe be flipping back and forth to a game or something, doing anything other than watching the pay-per-view. And what ended up happening was TNA pleasantly surprised me. Gave me a pretty good wrestling pay-per-view. Not a A-plus show, but a pretty solid wrestling program. If more wrestling pay-per-views were like what TNA gave us with Stingaversary 2013 tonight, the wrestling business would be in much better shape, I assure you of that. I actually like the decision by TNA to kick off the show with the Ultimate X Division title match because I felt it was in a spot similar to what you used to see with Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. A hot match early on in the show that gets the crowd really into the event, gets you really excited, and kicks things off in the right way. That's kind of what this match did. I don't know if they needed to make this an Ultimate X match, though, because it felt like it should have just been a Triple Threat X Division title match, frankly. I don't think they did a very good job of using the actual Ultimate X setup. I really don't. And I think, to me, usually with an Ultimate X match, I would rather see 4, 5, or 6 people because it allows for more possibilities, more combinations, and more things. It just makes for a better Ultimate X match. Good match. I'm not surprised Chris Sabin won. You know, they were making it a point to emphasize that he was back and they're going to be behind him. And now him and Kenny King can have a run in a feud. And that's all fine and good by me. I know that's got to be more than good to a certain Chris Sabin nut hugger named Fool Killer. But I know one individual that's not particularly happy with it.
Nah, man, fuck this shit. This ain't even right. Leave it to a city like Boston to perpetrate one of the worst racist conspiracies in the wrestling business of the last 20 years. How the fuck Chris Sabin gon' ever beat Kenny King? Yeah, you look at me, I'm pissed, motherfucker. How he ever gonna beat somebody, a world-class athlete and dancer like Kenny King when he ain't got no goddamn ACL? Nah, fuck this shit. It figured Boston would perpetrate this type of KKK conspiracy. Yeah, I bet Fool Killer real fucking happy about this. Well, fuck Fool Killer and fuck Chris Sabin. Kenny King, fuck the world. You damn right.
Well, somebody is very upset at TNA right now. Racist conspiracy, I suppose he would say. After Chris Sabin wins that X Division title, then Hogan comes out, and I said, oh, God, here we go. He's going to sit there and take all the spotlight away from Sabin. But he didn't necessarily do that. He actually did a good job of, trying to put Chris Sabin over on the mic. Now, when he says he's the future of the business, this is also the same guy that once said that Garrett Bischoff was the future of the business. So you take that with a grain of salt. But I thought Hogan's promo talking about Chris Sabin and talking about the fact that he's going to get a world title shot if he so chooses down the road, I thought it was good, a nice moment. Maybe the promo segment should have ended right there. But then it didn't. So the real feeling of dread was coming in, and I said, oh, fuck, it's going to be 10 minutes of Hogan promo with him yakking about this type of dumb shit and that type of dumb shit and that type of dumb shit. I don't know where the fuck this Hogan's been, but if we had more Hogan promos like this, then more people would be happy to have Hogan on the show every week with a mic in his hand. Holy fucking shit. To me, Hogan was actually on fire tonight on the mic. He's revving his engines. He's gearing up for one last shot at the TNA World title at Bound for Glory, brother. Ooh, this promo was fucking fire. Flipping off people, calling them pussies. He set up the 6-man tag pretty well. Magnus Joe Hardy versus Anderson Bischoff Briscoe. Hey, you knew the babyfaces had to win here because the babyface team was far, far better. And they played it pretty much as they should. There wasn't a whole lot to complain about when Hogan went on his fucking old man tirade like he was angry grandpa or something. It just totally threw me off and kicked the excitement level for the show up to this point to a whole different level of awesome. It really did. He's ready for that main event shot and Bound for Glory, brother. So they had this gut check tournament final match to determine who would be the first entrant into the BFG series. Sam Shaw versus Jay Bradley. This match sucked. I don't care about either one of these performers at this point. I think both of their personas suck. Jay Bradley wins. The match sucked. His promo afterwards sucked. Yeah. In case you forgot, TNA does technically have a television championship, and it's around the waist of Aces and Eights member Devon. Earlier in the show, Joseph Parks giving an interview. He's going to get his title shot. It's going to be his big moment of glory. And then Knox and Devon take him out. So you're basically left with Devon getting the count-out victory over Joseph Park. He utters something about Abyss. It says, if Abyss was here, I'd challenge him right now, which tipped off the fact that Abyss was going to come out and win the belt. My only complaint about this match is that it should have been shorter. You got this big surprise return of Abyss. Man, fuck going 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes. Screw that. Go like 60, 90 seconds. Have the heel lose quickly because it's a big surprise. Doesn't hurt the heel and actually makes the moment that much more impactful. Abyss is your new television champ. Hey, maybe we'll actually see the TV title on TV this week, huh?
Ladies and gentlemen, when the Dick Storm said, baby, you know it shall be done. You had to know it was going to happen. It was inevitable. It was, how you say, fate. This tag team elimination match, you had 4 teams, 4 of the best in the biz. It was the best match of the night. But really, ladies and gentlemen, let's cut through the bullshit. You knew only one team was going to prevail, and that was James Storm and Gunner. You know, it just struck me, though, as I'm watching, and as they went on to achieve this glory, and they're going to go on to be the greatest tag team in TNA Impact Wrestling history, Daddy. It occurred to me that these guys need a name. What name could we give them? The Blazing Stirrups? Steers and Beers? The Saddle Soldiers? You know, it don't matter. Let's have a naming contest down in the comments section below. You tell good old Dickie Storm what you think the new tag team name for James Storm and Gunner should be. But it don't matter what name you call them by. One thing is inevitably true, and it's known to all around the world, is James Storm is the man. Woo, baby! Ride the Dick Storm, greatest tag team wrestler of all time, if I do say so myself.
You had to know Dick Storm was going to be really happy tonight. Anyways, let's move on. There was one match in particular that I couldn't care less about heading into this show, and I just didn't see the point of this. I didn't see why this should be on the card instead of the Knockouts title match of like a Mickey versus Velvet. The last Knockout standing, Gail Kim versus Taryn Terrell. I was wrong. I'll admit it. This match surprised the hell out of me. This match was really good. It was easily one of the best matches of the night. I'll put it to you this way. When you've got women wrestling and you've got a crowd, like the crowd in Boston, which was a great crowd tonight. They were great throughout the show. They added to the experience, no question about it. That's what wrestling crowds should be like. And they're sitting there and they're chanting, "This is awesome," and holy shit, during a women's match, you got something. The only thing I maybe would have suggested different is have nobody win it. Don't have Taryn get up before the count of 10. Just have both of them lay out for the 10 count. But that's really nitpicking at this point. A really good match, and if this is the type of stuff we can expect from Drew's ex-wife, that crazy psycho, shouldn't be a big surprise that she loves to beat people up like she did Drew. If this is what we got to expect from her down the road, then the Knockouts division is at least looking a little bit better after this show tonight. For all of you that wanted Jeff Jarrett to go in the TNA Hall of Fame, fuck you. For all of you that are online bitching about it, fuck you. If Vince McMahon isn't in his company's Hall of Fame, then Jeff Jarrett can slow his horses and wait his damn turn and wait a few years before he goes into TNA's Hall of Fame. Give me a break. Was that a little surprise it was Kurt Angle? Sure. I think part of the reason they announced it was because he was actually already there, so they knew he couldn't skip out. So at least he was there tonight. He gave a nice little speech, and that's all fine and good. But just be careful, TNA. Just because you're putting him into your Hall of Fame doesn't mean that he's going to show up 4 months from now. Trust me on this one.
He apologizes for not being here, and he asked me to accept it, and he asked me to take care of this plaque. So I called Kurt last Friday when I found out that he wasn't coming and said a few unkind words to Kurt, and because people that win these things work hard for them and have the respect of each and every person out there, and deserve, you guys all deserve for the nominee to show up. So I told Kurt, after I talked to his manager, David Hawk, which I said a few unkind words to also, said, I know what this meant to me, and I know what it meant to the other people who received these things. And since Kurt was not going to no-show, I didn't think Kurt should receive this award. So I've called a few buddies of mine. I've got a few bids for this plaque. And I'm going to auction it off and give all the proceeds to the Dan Gable Museum. So if there's anybody that wants to make bids on it, the starting bid, I already got a $200 bid. I got it right here in my pocket. It was a little bit higher. But if we can beat the $200 bid, it'll all 100% will go not to me, but to the Hall of Fame. And I'd like to open the bidding right now. If it's $200, anybody want to bid $200 for Kurt Angle's plaque? You're welcome to it.
Come on, Troy. All right.
Yeah. Troy.
How much?
I'll go 250. 250? Do I hear 275? 275 to Troy Peterson, the winner for 250. Another Troy, you're so generous with your time and money. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it. Kurt will appreciate it. It will go in your name, the donation, not Kurt's name. So congratulations. Kurt Angle, Hall of Fame plaque. Congratulations, Kurt.
Had to have a little fun there. Alright, when it comes to Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles, their match, I've seen them wrestle how many times now? I don't care what type of lame excuse you try to come up with to justify this. You can only see a match so many times between two individuals before you just start to not care as much. It's kind of like a diminishing return. The more you see it, the less you care. I mean, come on. How many times do we have to see Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles in a feud and in a match? I don't care what you say. Shit gets old. It doesn't mean that this was a bad match. It just means that I didn't care very much about it. I watched it, but I was just kind of like, it's not the best work they've ever done. Was I a little surprised that Angle went over? At first, yes, but then I thought about it, I'm like, if you're trying to do some type of redemption storyline for AJ Styles, why not have him lose? And it's Angle's night with him being the next Hall of Fame member, so why not have him win? I really didn't have any problems with this, but I'm not going to sit here and praise it to Kingdom Come like I'm sure a lot of other reviewers are. It was just another match between these two guys and nothing special to me. So we get to the main event, and the reason that this is ultimately called Stingaversary 2013 because for the 4th year in a row, Sting is wrestling for the TNA World title at Slammiversary. Did I have a lot of expectations heading into this match? No. With it being no holds barred, usually that means that you could probably stumble your way to a passable main event match because you can use weapons, you could do some crazy shit that you couldn't do in a regular match. And that's pretty much what I felt you got here. A passable main event. You had Brooke coming out at one point. I was surprised that they didn't do some type of heel turn with her. That was kind of nice. It's like she came out, caused a disruption for a moment, but then she was gone and really had no bearing on the match. So that was a good touch. As far as the rest of the match, it looks like Sting is going to win, and then of course the Aces and Eights come out, and after Sting plays Super Sting and can clear out 4 or 5 of them with a bunch of crotch shots, eventually Bully Ray ends up winning, and it's a big lame-ass finish. The thing of pulling the ring back I thought was a good touch. It's something you don't see a whole lot. These guys, Bully Ray tried to put on a good match with Sting, and I think they did the best that they could. You just can't help a shitty storyline. And no matter what you do with Aces and Eights, it just sucks. But, it did not ruin my enjoyment of Stingaversary 2013. I thought it was a pretty good show. The tag team title match was really good. The last knockout standing match was surprisingly good. The Ultimate X match was a solid opener. You had plenty of good matches and good moments throughout the card. If more wrestling pay-per-views were like this, I would be much more enthusiastic about the wrestling business today. I assure you of that.